You clicked on the video, I'm not going to waste your time. This is how to sell beats with 0 followers. The first thing I would do if I was starting from scratch would be to create a BeatStars. Some people would even debate this, but that's something for another video. There are a few other beat selling platforms on the up right now, but I'd still stick to BeatStars for starting out because that's what most artists and producers use, and you'll see why that's important in a minute. Although, as a lot of us will know, BeatStars are taking a little bit from every beat sale, it does make it easier in terms of starting out with a subscription on BeatStars because it's cheaper. It's something like $20 for the whole year. So I'd pay that if you can and create your page. Make it look as professional as you can and upload as much as you can to that page. What you want to do is make yourself look well established and active on that page. Once you've created a BeatStars, you're going to want to find your niche, meaning a particular style of beats that you want to sell and make. It would be nice if we could just, as producers, make whatever we feel like in the moment, whether that's one day making a poppy Dua Lipa type beat, and then the next day making a dark Travis Scott type beat. That would be lovely, but unfortunately for selling beats, especially type beats, that's just not going to work. So pick a style you really enjoy making. It doesn't have to be just one artist, it can be in multiple, but just make sure they're in a similar style and really focus on that. So once you've picked your niche, you can actually start making beats, and the most important thing here, I would say, is start making beats from scratch. Now, to be honest, with this video, I'm somewhat assuming that you have a sort of ability within your door and you kind of know what's going on with that and you can create music. So this is why I'm saying make beats from scratch. If you're really just starting out in making music in general, then definitely start with just using loops and getting to grips with your door. But this is for people who want to start making money with their music. So make sure you're at a good level before you start wanting to do this. Anyway, making beats from scratch. Not only will making beats from scratch significantly improve you as a producer and your ability, it will also give you a lot more to leverage. And really, this is the whole point of the video. A really good way to sell beats with no following at all is through collab sales. Making beats from scratch instead of using loops, which I have no problem with by the way, will mean you have loops to consistently send out to other producers. It goes without saying that your loops have to be of a good quality and sound, so make sure you dedicate time to just getting better at making loops and honing the sound of those loops before sending them out. So now when you're making loops in a particular niche, you can start to build your email list. And this is how you're going to send out loops for other producers to use. Best way to do this, I think, is to search into YouTube for the type beats you make or the style that your loops are in. Let's say I make yeet loops. So I'd search into YouTube, yeet type beats. And here's where it gets a bit specific. The search results you'll get from this initially will be the big, well-established producers who get lots of views on their beats. And that's great. Click one of their beats, scroll down to the description and see if they have a loop email. If they do, great, copy that, add it to your list. But if they don't, message them on Instagram and ask if you can send them loops and get their email. The way you craft this message is super important and ultimately determines a lot of whether they actually do send you their email. And we'll get to that in a second. So once you've reached out to all these kind of bigger producers in your niche, you're going to start to notice that when you search for yeet type beat, let's say, you're not going to really see past these producers. You're going to kind of be just seeing the results of these bigger producers with not many others popping up in the searches. So now I'd recommend searching again, let's say yeet type beat or whatever niche you're in, and then filter the searches by upload date. That way you're not just seeing the biggest producers, but now you can see every producer which uploads yeet type beats and has done recently. And do the same thing with every one of those you see. Click on a beat, go to the description and copy the loop email if they have one. If they don't, send them a DM asking if you can get their email to send them loops. I would actually say even if they have a loop email, it's good to message them anyway, just to make yourself known to them. So in terms of the message you send them, you don't want it to come across as fake and spammy, because they'll instantly just ignore it. They'll get so many spammy messages every single day. So saying something like you just came across their beats for the first time and absolutely loved the sound of them, especially a certain beat, and maybe name the beat that you've listened to so that it's really specific. And then maybe say something like you wondered if they had an email that you can send loops to because you make loops in their style, something like that. Then once you start to build your email list, and you can kind of build this as you send loops out, you can start to send these loops out weekly. Some people would suggest sending loops out more frequently than weekly, but in my opinion, weekly is the sweet spot because it's not too spammy, but at the same time, it's frequent enough that people will see you in their inbox regularly and look forward to hearing the loops you're sending them. This sounds like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how many people don't have this. Make sure your email that you're using to send loops out is an email specifically dedicated to just your music and your loops. because that way it will look way more professional than your personal email and just makes everything easier in terms of organization and all that sort of stuff. So if you don't, create one. Gmail is really easy to create. So make the emails brief and friendly. Again, take interest in them. It's as simple as literally saying, you know, I hope you had a good week. Here are the loops, blah, 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 whatever. Just take a bit of interest and be friendly in the email, and title the subject of the email with the type of loops that you're sending them. It's important to find the balance between not making it too clickbaity and spammy again, but still making it sound interesting for them to want to click it. You could title it something like new guitar loops for you, and then in brackets the artists that the loops are in the style of. To send out my loops, I use MailTrack because it's free, easy to download, easy to use. This isn't sponsored in any way, but I just thought I'd let you guys know what I use. But if you don't want to use an extension, you can just use the BCC function on normal email. But if you're doing this, it is absolutely crucial that you make sure you are BCCing and not CCing, because it's the worst. And I've received emails like this where people think they're BCCing, but they're not. And then they send the email out, and then you can see every single person that they've sent that same email to. So whatever you do, make sure that doesn't happen. It's just not a great look, and again, it's just spammy. Now that you're all set up to send out loops every week, make sure you put the terms of agreement in each email, and try the best you can to keep the total file size of the email below 25 megabytes. That way people don't have to download the loops to listen to them. They can just listen to the preview of them in the email. So if it's over that and people have to download them, that will really significantly reduce the amount of people which will listen to those loops and obviously use them. And then you'll start to see BeatStars notifications roll on through. Make sure you put a link to your BeatStars in the email or in the terms of agreement so people know your username to add as a collaborator. Obviously, the amount of people that add you as a collaborator and the amount of collab sales you'll get will hugely correlate to the quality and sound of your loops. So I can't stress enough to really dedicate time to making your loops better, because that will just instantly increase the amount of sales you'll get. But if they're good, people will use them. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this producer content, and I'll see you in the next video.